welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi, Batra, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the closing action on the D Street. Joining in with me is Shail Bhatnagar as well on the show. It has turned out to be a lackluster kind of a trading session as far as the benchmark index is concerned throughout the trading session, right after the stellar move that we had seen yesterday on the Muhurat trading special. But Shail, as we can see, the markets are still hovering about 0.3% lower in trade, 19,455 odd on the Nifty. But smart gains coming in on the PSU banks as we inch closer to the trade. So perhaps looking a bit better as far as the broader markets are concerned, and perhaps PSU banks that's stealing the show.
Right, and good afternoon, Sakshi. A very warm welcome to all the viewers who've joined us on Market Today at BTTV. Nothing much on the Nifty, down about 70 points at about 19,450, and flat trade seen on Bank Nifty as well, 43,950 in front of you, down 38. Even the IT index says the NSE 500 is not doing anything at all. The only interesting counter at the moment is the Nifty PSU banking index, 2.5% higher, 5171, and now all 12 are up in the green. Whether it is PNB, whether it's Bank of India, Union Bank of India, Maharashtra Bank, Central Bank, all of them have shot up very sharply, Sakshi, and these gains have been accompanied by a very sharp rise in volume, a 52-week high, actually a 6-year high for Canara Bank, 404.70, and in terms of volumes, it's Union Bank where 3x volumes have been traded, 4.45 crore shares, the counter up 6.8%. Similarly, Indian Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, or both of them rising 5.5% each, and 2.2 times volume. So breakouts in price and volume are easily available as far as the PSU banking basket is concerned. And if you go back to your early morning headline, it was government PSUs that was supposed to bring back traders, and therefore all metals, whether it's Hind Copper, NMDC, manganese ore, all of them are shining very brightly, and of course the PSU banking basket. Tanya, I'm so sorry, Sakshi.
All right, let's welcome our guest on the show now. Abhishek Jain, Head of Research at Arihant Capital, is now joining us. Mr. Jain, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Season's greetings to you. Help us understand, how are you looking at the Samvat 2080 now? On day one, we are seeing the winners of the previous Samvat also shining through. The PSU banks, the mid caps and the small caps. Are they going to be the driving force for this entire year, or are we going to see a sea of change?
Season's greeting to everyone in your side also. So what we have seen in last few weeks, the inflation has been subsiding with the crude falling down. This inflation has been subsiding, and people are talking about there is a possibility of some kind of cuts again comes into the picture, and that's why there is a lot of interest in the PSU banks among the, especially on the HNI side, and some of the mutual funds also who were holding the stocks, and they were concerned about rate because of the rising crude in between. So that's why that some of the blue chip stocks some of the Canara banks or Bank of Maharashtra, there's been a lot of interest among the, especially on the mutual funds and large HNI side among the PSU banks, and that's why we have seen the rally in the PSU, continuing the rally in the PSU banks, still available at a decent discount to its private sector peers.
Okay, welcome Abhishek ji. A very warm festive greetings to everybody at Arihant Capital in your team, as well as all the clients that Arihant serves so ably. When you look at the crystal ball for the current Samvat 2080, what are the one or two stocks that you look at with with interest on the long side? What are you suggesting to their clients in terms of portfolio picks that can be held for the medium term?
So one or two stocks, it's like the PSU banks. Also, the SBI looks interesting after the interest rates like already the correction in the crude and some of the commodity side also, we have seen the inflation also subsiding. The SBI has not participated in this rally in among the PSU banks itself. Only the stock has been range bound for quite some time right now. So one stock where I think SBI looks interesting. Second, Tech Mahindra is we have attended the analyst meet of Mahindra and Mahindra, and the management has clearly talked about 3-year action plan for Tech Mahindra, and there is a lot of deal wins which is on. They have won it. There is a lot of new people joining the company. That is looks interesting among the large caps. UPL, as I mentioned, also in the agrichem space looks interesting. Page Industry is one company where I think. Can be on a radar right now. Among the mid caps, there are a lot of companies like CMAC India Limited, Ramki Infra, there are companies where I think there will be stock specific market rather than looking at overall basket at this point of time. One sector where we have seen a lot of interest, but for us again there will be I see the limited upside is the PSU oil baskets where we have seen after the correction in the crude again we have seen a lot of interest among the investors right now, but I think I don't see major upside from current level because the inflation, because I don't believe they are going to allow the increase in crude oil prices going forward. So that is something where I keep sell view on the stocks like HPCLs of the world, while the given names where I think metal basket looks interesting with
Hmm.
China cutting down rate. So there are a lot of stock specific opportunities are there right now among but our focus is largely on the large caps and very limited interest in the mid caps.
Okay. Mr. Jain, I wanted to draw your attention to the PSU banking basket again and ask you your view on the second rung PSU banks, you know, the smaller ones, Union Bank, Canara Bank, huge volumes, strong moves, Canara Bank at a 6-year high, IDBI Bank, Indian Bank. Are you looking at these small ticket banks with the kind of move that we've already seen? Is there more steam left?
Ma'am, just to understand one thing, there's a lot of discount was available in the large caps between the SBIs and the tier two banks also. Like initially, like when we are talking to various investors also, they are only interested in the SBI and then some small interest was there in Bank of Baroda. Now with the uh, recovery in some of the key sectors like power is one sector where there's a lot of recoveries and green shoots are available. Real estate is one sector where a lot of green shoots are there right now, especially on the commercial side. That's why there's been a lot of interest. People still believe they want to be in the part of India Rally, and this PSU nothing but then PSUs can be offering them this kind of still the valuation. If you see historic valuation, I'm not talking about last 5 years, but the historical valuation they used to trade, they're still trading at a decent discounts to its peers, and then as that's why we have seen. Some of the banks in the mid cap side have started especially one interest we have seen is a lot of new FI who have come to India have started getting into the exposure into the Canara banks and Union banks or Bank of India's of the world,
Hmm.
which haven't seen in last so many years. There's been hardly any interest. At our desk, we have seen a lot of FIs activity have started picking up right now. And we have
Okay.
seen comparison with the Chinese banks also right now. Chinese China story right now. The Indian financial system still offer a safeguard against relatively on relative terms right now.
Hmm. Okay, got that. Also, if you can help us understand your view on Hindustan Copper. The stock is moved up very sharply today. You were talking briefly about metals. So, on this counter, with the kind of move that we've already seen, it's the top FNO gainer right now, 8% higher in trade. Would you be a buyer at 161 odd levels? Do you think there is enough potential even now?
Ma'am, in Hindustan, given copper, there's a event-based news is there. As per the media reports, uh, mine which was there for the auction has been back into the for the company, and I think that is the one reason which is the fueling up the stock right now. There is no clarity on this thing, but I think that can be the one news reason why there is a lot of interest. And if this is going to get approvals and those mines are again back to the auction, I think that can be a big positive trigger for the company.
Okay.
We are relatively based more comfortable on the Tata Steels of the world, or maybe NMDCs of the world, rather than buying it in the Sun Copper at this point of time.
Okay.
Abhishek ji, we've seen a very sharp rally coming into the mid cap and the large and the small cap space in the summer that's just gone by. When you look at these spaces, is there still some value left for long-term holders, or would you avoid such sectors because your first two picks were Mahindra and State Bank of India?
Yeah, definitely there's a lot of value in the small caps and mid caps. I'm not saying that there is no value left right now, but right now there are stocks like, let's take an example, a CMAC India Limited, where we are quite positive on the stock, and we believe the barges and the SUV which they are owning it right now has been sold out for next 2 years. So that is one company where we have a positive view on the stock right now. CMAC, not the ICMAC, ma'am. Also, there will be a Welspun Corp is where we believe there's a long term, there's a good opportunity is there right now on the stock. Thomas Cook is one company we've been positive for quite some time. There's one recently we have initiated company, the Jubilant Pharmanova, which is a very niche company in the radio pharmacy space and in immunology space, where a large number of clientels are based out of US, and I think there is a good pipeline for the US. They are available at a decent valuation. So we are very selective at this point of time. We are not hesitating some of the clients to book profits also, but very selective on this small cap and mid cap. We are at present we are avoiding some of the SME names which people are gung-ho about, but on the mid cap side we are very selective right now at this point of time.
Okay. Right. Mr. Jain, I also wanted to draw your attention to Coal India, the top gainer on the Nifty. It's right up there on the top from the word go today. It's gained 4% even after Jefferies has jacked up the targets, upgraded the stock on Q2 earnings as well. And Jefferies now has upgraded the stock to buy from hold, increased the target price to 385 rupees a share. Your thoughts on Coal India? Would you also be looking at a target upgrade from your own end?
It's not a coverage stock, but it's a soft coverage stock. But whatever I understood, there's a decent volume pickup. We have seen disbursement numbers were very strong for the quarter for the company right now, and which I think, and the prices are relatively strong. That's why these are the two things which has been jacking up the stock, and plus the good dividend yield is there right now for the stock. So there may be reasons why the quarterly numbers were very strong for the company right now. I think that's 2, 3 reasons where I believe that can be the reason why the people are interested in the stock again at this point of time. The stock has been rallied close to 40-45% from the lows from the OFS price, which the government has offered just earlier this year. So we are not. We believe this can be a stock rather than looking at the companies. We are more Ferris side. We are more interested in companies in the Ferris side at this point of time.
Well, Sakshi, I think we need to pay attention to what prices are telling us. I'd like to point out Bank of Maharashtra. At the moment, it's the day's high that we are seeing, and a 5% rally happening on this one. The counter trading at 46.15 in cash. We'll also wait for our technical guest to join in, but at the day's high and about 5.5% higher. Bank of Maharashtra is not alone. You've seen Karur Vyasa Bank trading at days high 159. I think Karur is at its all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. 1 second. Yes, this is an all-time high that's ticking on Karur, 159 rupees, and a very very sharp rise in volume today. We've already crossed Friday's move, which was 56.84 lakh shares have been traded, and it's a whole host of PSU banks that are rising very sharply today. Punjab National Bank 79.40, a nice breakout that you see on the charts. This is the highest level that you've seen since 5th of October. So more than a 1 month high that is coming onto the stocks. UCO Bank, Bank of India, as also Union Bank, all these banks, Sakshi, are doing very very well in trade today. What are you watching?
Well, Infibeam, Shail? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Shail, I wanted to just
What
talk about Infibeam Avenues. This is the top stock in the Nifty 500 basket. It's a very, very small stock, a very high beta stock as well, 21 rupees odd. But I wanted to understand, the current momentum, Infibeam Avenues, 8% higher in trade, and what's really leading to this rally?
I'm sure Mr. Jain would be a better person. I just don't track this stock at all.
Mr. Jain,
And, it's just,
do you
price
read
and
this stock?
volume
Do you track this stock at all, Infibeam? Can you give us your view here?
I would like to. Well, I can tell you like why one of the reason why, because the government procurement has been, they are the player, they provide platform for the government procurement, and where the volumes have been, they've reached 1,75,000 crore per month right now. So that is why I think one of the reason why there has been a lot of interest in Infibeam. Rest all, we don't have a coverage on the stock, but this is something where I thought can be an opportunity. Why there's been a lot of interest in the stock at this point of time.
Okay. Got it. All right, we will look for Nilesh Jain to also join us in the interim, and we'll try to understand from him the technical outlook on some of these stocks as well. But Mr. Jain, can you also give your view on Bombay Stock Exchange? The stock is up 6.5%, 7%. We've been talking about this stock pretty much, last 2-3 days odd, and this stock is showing no signs of exhaustion.
Ma'am, BSE is a share is a complete revival story we have seen in last 2 months, 3 months, when they've started gaining market share from the derivative side. Right now, the stock was some at 1,000 odd rupees, and from 1,000 odd rupees has moved up to 2,300 rupees in last 3 months. They've started getting very healthy volumes at this point of time, especially in the derivative side, which was not their forte at any point of time under new CEO, and that's why there is a lot of interest among various investors about BSE at this point of time. There is also talks after first 3 months they've increased some of the prices, some of the charges also for the BSE derivative segment, where that can be that one of the reason why there is a lot of interest. And now, because till now the derivative segment was largely a forte of NSE, and there was hardly any interest was there. Uh, in last since the relaunch, BSE has increased transaction charges on the Sensex options with from November 1, and that's why there is a lot of interest among the investors. Maybe the stock has been become a 3x from those levels right now, but I don't. That can be the one reason why there's a lot of interest is there. Second reason can be a potential NSE listing, which people are again talking about with the strong numbers from NSE. So these can be the two reasons why there is a lot of interest among on the BSC right now. So one, I have already said, the derivative revenue exchange, which was a very limited market for BSC till now. Now people are talking about a strong revenue growth for the Bombay Stock BSC Limited.
Okay, got that. Let's also welcome Nilesh Jain now.
Yes,
He's
that is
with
true.
us. He's AVP Technical Research from Centrum Broking. Welcome, Nilesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Good to have you with us, and season's greetings to you. Day one of summer 2080. How are you looking at the markets? What's the sense you're getting?
Thank you so much, Sakshi. The markets are looking very strong. Looking at the recovery, specifically in the Bank Nifty, So from position point of view, we have a slightly bullish outlook, although for the Nifty for the day, it looks slightly sort of a consolidation. But I feel that if at all we see any decline, that could be a good opportunity to get into this Nifty index for the upside target of 19,600 and 19,800 in the near term. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, the chart is looking pretty, interesting. Today we have seen a good recovery, and this particular candle, what we are witnessing, it looks like a doji candle. Most probably, it may form a hammer sort of candle in today's trading session. And looking at the buying interest that has emerged specifically in the small banks and PSU banking space, I think one should focus in the banking space. And the outlook for the bank nifty looks slightly on a positive side for the upside target of 44,200 to 44,500 in the near term. So any decline could be a good opportunity to get into the bank nifty index. If you look at lastly the volatility index, which has cooled off from the higher levels, and currently it is very much in the comfort zone for the bulls. So overall, I feel that the markets are very much buy on decline sort of structure, and stock specific action, specifically in the financial and the banking space, we believe that likely to continue.
Right. Nilesh, welcome to Market Today on Business Today Television. And once again, a very warm festive greeting to you. It's the second day of the new Samvat, and it's the PSU rally all over the Lal Street. Any stocks that you can catch at this point of time which may not have accelerated as much as they can? What looks good to you there?
First of all, thank you so much, and festive greetings to everyone, to all the viewers, and the entire team of Business TV today. So overall, if you look at the PSU banking space specifically, so we are liking a couple of small banks. So first of all, starting with Bank of India, so that particular counter is looking very strong on the chart, and we expect this further upside move to continue towards 112 to 115 on immediate basis. So the risk and reward is also favorable. The support is at 105. Counter is sustaining well above its 21 DMA, 50 DMA. So structure-wise, Bank India looks positive. Apart from that, Canara Bank is another counter which is looking strong on the chart, and the upside is very much open for 415 to 420 in the near term. On immediate basis, I would say could be a BTS trade at current level. Stop loss should be placed below 395. So these are the two banks that we are liking from the PSU banking space as of now.
Okay. Nilesh, I wanted to ask you on one counter from the FNO space. This stock is buzzing. PFC, Power Finance Corporation, up 5%. How do you look at the stock right now at the current levels? And what is the next target that you would want to advise to all the investors here?
So Sakshi, this particular counter has been in an uptrend since a long time. So both PFC and REC look strong on the chart and trading in uncharted territory. So structure-wise, it is slightly overbought, but I would say if at all somebody is looking to make a fresh entry, it is better to avoid the current level, wait for some meaningful correction in the range of 280 to 290. And those who are already holding the long position can continue to ride this particular momentum what we are witnessing, and upside may extend further towards 330 to 340. So similar to this particular counter, REC, so I would like to highlight. So this particular counter is also looking positive on the chart, and we expect further upside move to continue towards 350 to 355 in the RAC. Stop loss can be placed below 320.
Okay, interesting.
It's a blowout that's happening on the Bombay Stock Exchange. At the moment, the price is 22.93, and all due caution has to be exhibited if you wish to get into this counter. At the moment, it's superheated. I look at a lot of charts, Sakshi, this side, and every single parameter that you can think of looks stretched, but भाव भगवान है और भाव को सलाम करना हमारा काम है, और इसी वजह से आप बहुत ज़बरदस्त यहाँ पर तेज़ी देख रहे हैं. लेकिन क्या कीजिए, चढ़ते सूरज को सलाम है, और चढ़ता सूरज आपके सामने बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की तरह काम करता हुआ दिख रहा है. Where else is action? This is coming to you, Nilesh. Canara Bank, again a breakout that we've seen over the past 6 years, and the price of 404, above 400 was seen last time in November of 2017. What are the medium term charts of Canara Bank telling you?
We have just now given our recommendation on the buy side for the upside target of 420 to 425. If you look at the medium term point of view, if you look at the weekly chart, the counter is forming a big rounding bottom, and the resistance for this particular counter that comes around multi-month, multi-year resistance that is placed at somewhere around 425. So if at all it reaches and takes out 425 level, then the upside may extend further towards 450 to 470 on immediate basis. But looking at the overall structure, I feel that it's a good counter to be into from a positional point of view and can be added on declines by in a staggered manner. We expect this counter to move towards 500 figure mark in next 1 year.
Okay. Got that. All right. Before we let you go, Mr. Jain, one last question that I wanted to throw to you. The same question that I had asked Nilesh again on PFC. You know, the stunning rally that we have seen in the entire power space, and of course, both PFC and RSC. And PFC especially has now joined the 1 lakh crore rupees market cap club. It has zoomed 127% so far in 2023. So stunning rally there. Do you still hope to see some good returns in the new Samvat?
Ma'am, with the government translations of containing the power loss, PFC, I'm not saying a buy or something like this, but the earnings are going to be very strong for next 6 to 9 months. There has been a disbursement numbers also has been very strong. There has been, if you see last quarter numbers also, the PAT was increased by 28%, which was higher than the market estimate. So I think there has been a lot of interest in the power space right now, and with the recoveries in the discom losses, that can be the one reason why there is a lot of interest is there right now. There's been an increase in the NIMs also. Also, I think there's one more important thing the government has talked about the the states which are going to not going to repay their debt on the regular basis will be out from the auctioning side, where that has led to a lot of interest from the especially on the power segment. So that's why the PFC is one beneficiary. We are going to come out with this particular news, and that's why we have seen a lot of interest in the PFC or RECs of the world.
Fair point. And there is Sakshi no let up. On a reasonably every day, you see a fresh record high coming on REC, and you see a similar move happening on PFC. Power Finance Corporation is actually up 6% today, and it's a very, very sharp move coming in 4.4% now. But the intraday high was, I think, 316.40 at least in the cash in the futures markets. That's what is happening when it comes to PFC, and very, very strong volume today. Let me just share the volume data on PFC with you. This is something that needs to be looked at very closely, because it's a high value stock in terms of the FNO trades that keep on happening. 1 second, volume buzzers in front of me. And Power Finance Corporation 2.8 times the 5-day average, and 5 crore 16 lakh shares have been traded. A breakout in price, a breakout in volume, and a record high. So this is something that's likely to continue. Joining forces with Nilesh and giving him Britannia. A very nice move here coming in, Nilesh, 46.98 as far as futures are concerned, and the counter now consolidating above its 200-day DMA. Anything that catches your fancy here?
Sarin sir, last week, in fact, I remember you spotted the breakout at 4620, and since then it is quite sustaining well above
Yes.
that breakout zone at 4620, and we expect this particular move to continue and extend further towards 4750 to 4800. So for the November series, I feel towards the expiry, the counter has a potential to surpass 4800 mark. So it is better to buy at current level and on decline, keeping stop loss below that particular breakout zone that was somewhere 4620, and the stop loss can be revised somewhere near around 4645. So 4645 should be the stop loss. Upside open from 4750 to 4800.
Okay. Got that. Shifting gears now,
Okay.
Nilesh, I wanted to draw your attention to pharma space. We began this session with a lot of healthcare pharma names, ticking up. Right now, I see one stock that's now hit a 52-week high, Wockhardt Pharma. It's up into the green for the third trading session, almost 11% higher in trade. It's touched its 52-week high of 499 a piece earlier today as well. Your own thoughts?
So Sakshi, just a disclaimer, today we recommended this particular counter to a client for the upside target of 283 and target has just met. So we are advising to book profit. Reason being, tomorrow this particular counter will be coming out with the numbers. So ahead of the numbers, this kind of move, it is better to stay light. Positive numbers are somewhere is getting priced in. So it is better to stay light and wait for the numbers to come out. Although the structure is indeed hinting that the stock is getting ready to move towards 300 plus sort of mark. So the structure looks positive. After a long time, we have witnessed a good base formation and a breakout. So those who are already holding the long position can keep a trading stop loss below 270 and ride this particular momentum. The upside is open for 300 plus sort of target.
Right. Okay.
There's some more stocks, Sakshi, I'd like to mark, and I'm
Absolutely.
just marking the price on them. There is no recommendation or any such thing. We'll just look at Angel One. This is a broking outfit, pretty well known in the markets, and has been on a very serious uptrend ever since it got listed. You have 2820 coming in. Remember, 6 days ago, the all-time high on this counter was 2879. It seems to be reclaiming that. Of course, we've discussed CDSL for quite a while. So Angel One, CDSL, BSE, and there is a company called Computer Age Asset Management.
Yes.
This is a company, Sakshi, that looks at 80% of the mutual fund business and manages all RCIPs and offers services to, I think, 30 out of the 42 AMCs that are there in India. This counter 2623 rallying very sharply over the last 4 or 5 trading sessions. Bear in mind that Computer Age Asset Management has an all-time high of 4038 at the moment at 2623. But even 2623 is a very, very sharp uptick from 2450 that was there a couple of days ago. So it's the entire sector which is going through this upheaval of price. Angel One, Bombay Stock Exchange, CDSL, and Computer Age Asset Management, K Fintech, and of course Share India. So it's ABCD SS
Absolutely. Shail.
alphabetically.
Absolutely, Shail. Interesting anecdote right there. Okay, let's also look at some of the other pockets. Nilesh, anything that looks interesting from the metals basket? That's the other pocket that's moving up.
All right, Sakshi. So one counter that I'm liking the most from the metal space, specifically from the aluminum space, that is Hindalco. Now, this particular counter has been in a consolidation zone from last 2 months. Now it looks like it is on the verge of breaking out from this 2 months consolidation. The breakout is placed at 495. So I'm just preempting that this move is likely to be carry forward, and we see a breakout in next 1 or 2 trading session. So can be bought at current level, keeping stop loss below 478. The upside seems to be open for 510 to 515.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Sakshi, I think it's 307. Let's pay attention to a little bit on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. We've ignored them completely, and if you have heard the early morning commentary, it was said that it will be a sideways to a consolidating zone on the Nifty between now and December of 2nd for 2 reasons. One, the festivities are over in India, and 2, we have now moved into the markets have moved into election mode. 5 states are in election fervor, starting from Rajasthan in the west to Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and of course Mizoram. The results will be out in December 2nd or 3rd, and till the time the exit polls are there in front of you, You will see a sideways to weak to a consolidating trend, a range bound trend on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Therefore, a 100-point dip on the Bank Nifty, which is next to nothing, 43,900, and a range bound trade on the Bank Nifty. Today morning we had mentioned that 450, 400 will be a zone for the bulls to battle the bears, and that's exactly what has happened. Nothing much happening there. Let me just give you a flavor of how the Nifty is performing. And let's look at the top gainers and losers in that particular space. Of course, Sakshi has discussed Coal India in great detail, 5.5% higher. NTPC 2.1% higher, 248.95. iShare is 2.1% higher, and Hindalco is 1.4% higher. In terms of price losers, SBI Life, Apollo Hospitals, HDFC Life are the ones that are tripping up in trade in the red corner. And Sakshi, surprise, surprise, the top traded stock futures counter is Coal India today, reaching towards a fresh 52-week high.
Absolutely. Very, very interesting, moves over there, although very, very far and few between. But let's look at some of the other interesting names. Anything from the small cap basket, Nilesh, that you can point out? This entire year, 2079 Samvat belonged to the small cap stocks, 37% higher. The index really outperformed. And even on day one, it's going pretty strong, 0.7% higher in trade. Any particular stock that you'd like to recommend to all our viewers for the new Samvat from this index?
So couple of stocks that is on my radar from the railway space. We have been bullish on Railtail. So first of all, Railtail is one counter that we are liking the most. So from next 1 year point of view, I think if railway themes play out, then Railtail is likely to outperform, and the upside is open for 300 plus sort of target. So watch out for this particular counter. The support is very much placed at 240. So we saw a breakout from a triangle formation at 240 level. So that should be the stop loss. So watch out for this particular counter. Apart from that, we are also liking from pharmaceutical space, Markson Pharma. So this counter has given a big move in last few trading sessions, almost from 110 to 140 now. So I would advise to wait for some decline in this particular counter and buy in the range of 125 to 130. Still looks strong for the upside move to continue towards 160 to 180 from medium to long term point of view. Stop loss can be kept below 120. So these are the two specific counters as of now looking positive, and one more counter from the infrastructure space, that is NCC. So that counter is also giving a fresh breakout in today's trading session. Can be bought from a medium term point of view for the upside target of 200 plus. Currently it is trading near about 165 levels. Buy in the range of 160 to 165. Keep a stop loss below 145. Upside is open for 200 plus.
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's take some more stocks with you, and let me just take your view on the auto and the auto ancillary basket. What are you watching out for here for this new year? Eicher Motors, again, one of the top gainers today. But which segment of the auto space looks interesting to you, Dilation? Which stock would you throw your weight behind for the new Samvat?
So within auto and auto ancillary, we are liking Apollo Tire from the tire space. Although in last two sessions we are witnessing some profit taking, and that's a good sign. So if at all it corrects further, and if it comes in the range of 400 to 410, so that could be a good entry level. And we are expecting this counter to move towards 440 sort of levels. That's the previous all-time high mark. So 440 should be the near-term target in this particular counter. Keep a stop loss below 395. So that is one counter that we are liking. And apart from that, from the auto space, Mahindra and Mahindra can be looked at. It is sort of a consolidation zone. The support for the Mahindra and Mahindra is placed at 1480. So can be bought for the upside target of 1650. That's the previous all-time high for this counter. That is likely to be tested in the near term.
Okay. Right. Sakshi, let's try to pick up stocks that will outperform tomorrow. And one of them, a likely candidate, seems to be Bharat Electronics. A fresh rally coming in here. almost I think about 1 crore 76 lakh shares have been traded. Let's get Nilesh's view in. Nilesh, moving out of a 3 month kind of a zone as far as BEL charts are concerned, what are they telling you? 143.40.
Looking very strong on the chart and looking at today's breakout, along with that, we have also witnessed good build-up of the long positions here on the OI front. So almost 5% OI has been added in this particular counter. So could be a good BTHD trade at current level for the upside target of 146 to 150. The support is placed somewhere near about 140. So that should be the stop loss. And along with that, another counter that has come into my radar, that is BHEL, BALE. So we have already witnessed a 6% spurt, but I think the breakout in this particular counter is also looking strong. We can expect further move in this particular counter towards 140 to 145. So watch out for this counter as well. Keep a stop loss below 132.
Okay, very interesting. BEL and BHEL both can be looked at on the long side currently too. All right, apart from this, Nilesh, let me get your view also on, we're getting Canara Bank, some fresh moves coming in again. We have discussed the PSU banking space quite a lot, but 4% higher as far as the FNO action is concerned on Canara Bank. What would the next target be on Canara Bank, Nilesh, from your side?
From PSU banking space, this looks very interesting. So watch out for Canara Bank from short-term point of view as well as from position point of view. So I'm liking this particular counter. So immediate target looks like it is heading towards 415 to 420. From position point of view, this counter has a potential to move towards 450 to 500 zone. So can be added at current level, keeping stop loss below 395. Canara Bank looks strong.
Got that. Super. So we are just about 15 minutes away from the day's close. Let's revisit some of the momentum that we are looking at. Nifty right now down about 84, 85 odd points at 19,442. So at the index level, there is complete lackluster, but the action continues to remain on the broader markets. Small caps up 0.7% higher in trade. It's the PSU banks that are stealing the show. 2.6% higher in trade for this index as well. The broadest index, Nifty 500, has a lot of winners. Bombay Stock Exchange, Hindustan Copper, Infibeam, CAMS as mentioned by Shail as well, Bank of Maharashtra, Indian Bank, BHEL, which we've just discussed. All of these stocks showing a momentum of upward of 6% odd in today's trade as well. Nilesh, it's a truncated week of trade. Tomorrow markets will be shut. Your own sense of how should one be really looking at on the index level, Nifty Bank now, the strategies that you'd recommend, or would you say that one should stay away and just be very, very stock specific now in the week to follow?
Absolutely, Sakshi. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we are advising to stick to the stock specific action that is likely to continue. From out of both the index, we are liking Bank Nifty, that is giving more comfort over Nifty. So in the Bank Nifty, we expect looking at the kind of recovery that we have seen in today's trading session, we can expect a follow-up move on Wednesday. That is the weekly expiry day for the Bank Nifty. So we might see a short covering move, and the further upside may extend towards 44,200 to 44,500. Both Nifty and Bank Nifty, interestingly, both stuck in within 21 DMA, 50 DMA. So 21 DMA is acting as a support, 50 DMA acting as a resistance for both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So I would be more comfortable taking trade in Bank Nifty over Nifty. And apart from that, we are advising to stick to the stock specific and sector specific action. From sector point of view, we are liking realty, we are liking banking, financials, PSU banking space. So these are the few sectors that we are advising.
Okay, so it's about 13 minutes left to the market from its closing hour, and Sakshi, tomorrow being a holiday, there is just nothing happening on the index in terms of options trades. People are just selling options just to eat the premium. I'll give you an example of how options premium has moved. If you look at the 19400 call at the moment where the market is, 95 rupees, and it's halved. Actually, it's gone down by a third. It was at about 140 in the morning. It's moved 41 points lower at about 94. Similarly, 19450 call is now at 64 rupees. It was at 100 rupees in the morning, and 19500 almost at the money at the moment is 41 rupees, down 32. So there hasn't been much movement on the index, but call prices have halved or gone down by 1/3, simply because tomorrow is a holiday. That has to reflect today, and if tomorrow is a holiday, then on Wednesday we are on T-1. Therefore, you see this very sharp erosion that's coming in on the options prices for the Nifty on the call side. Similar rally has not been seen on the put side, which basically means even from there theta decay is happening, which is time is running out, and that's the reason why options trades haven't worked out so well. It's a bit of a negative close for the index as far as the options are concerned. The PE minus CE change is a negative 1.5 crore units, and that is not going to go down well as far as bulls are concerned. If you look at the advanced decline on the Nifty, that's not much either. If you look at the number, just let me show it to you. What's the advanced decline on the Nifty? Okay, it's 30 versus 20, so 3:2, and that's how markets are heading towards the closing zone as far as the Nifty is concerned. Sakshi.
All right, let's look at a few more stocks, before we end the show. And of course, there are lots of stocks we have already discussed. But, one stock that I wanted to discuss with you, Nilesh, is M&M from the auto basket. I was discussing with you the auto and the auto ancillary space. But how does M&M really look to you? It's a picked up pace, 1% high in trade, one of the top gainers on the Nifty pack. And it's been a stunning move on the M&M counter as well for this entire year too. It has performed well. Your own thoughts at 1540, would you be a buyer?
Right, Sakshi. So this counter has been one of the outperformer within the auto space year to date. So if you look at the overall structure from last 2-3 months, we have witnessed some amount of consolidation. So after a rally, this kind of consolidation is giving more comfort to get into this particular counter from a near-term point of view. So can be bought at current level, and I would advise to buy in a staggered manner, keeping stop loss below 1450. 1450, reason being it has formed a good base. It looks like a double bottom sort of formation at 1450 level. So that should be the stop loss for the long position. The upside is very much open for 1600 to 1650 in the near term. And from position point of view, this counter has a potential to move towards 1700 plus.
Okay. One more counter I'll pick for you, Nilesh, where you can give us a good view. Again, we've been discussing a lot on the PSU banking space. The next counter from here, I want your attention on is Indian Bank, and again a 52-week high level, I believe, has been hit on this counter. Your thoughts and your next target for this one?
Well, Sakshi, you have spotted a breakout stock, and that is a good breakout on the closing basis as well. So, can be bought at current level as a BTSC trade since this particular counter is not in future. So, I would advise to take a short-term bet in this particular counter for the upside move to continue towards 470 to 480. And looking at the structure, I think looking at the breakout as well, I think it is getting ready to move towards 500 sort of levels as well. So keep a stop loss below 425. Today we have seen a good spurt of near about 6.5%. If at all we see any decline, so that we would give a good risk and reward. Apart from that, along with that, two counters just want to highlight. So from banking space, small ticket size counters like Maharashtra Bank and South Bank. So these are the two other stocks that are also looking positive given the breakout today we have seen. So Mahabank looks positive of 48 to 50. One can keep a stop loss below 44. South Bank is also looking strong for the upside move to continue towards 26 to 27. One can keep a stop loss below 24.80.
Okay, Sakshi, again, 8 minutes left for the markets to close, and stocks that are closing at their day's high are CAMS 2710, Strong block deals now happening on CAMS. The last one was for 2385 shares, then 4719 shares, 3000, 4000 shares immediately, and 2000 before that. So nice volume happening on CAMS as well. No point discussing BSC, record high 2350. We have Maharashtra Bank closing at its day's high 4620. The last transaction on Maharashtra Bank in terms of block deal was for 2,24,000 shares. You have strong moves coming in on Union Bank 112.40. MCX in sync with the Bombay Stock Exchange, trading at day's high 27.82. That is how at least the cash is looking at. Indian Hotels and City Union Bank are the ones where you see in the F&O trades happening on the high side. 411 on Indian Hotels and 143.85 on City Union Bank, which also amongst the banking basket is doing pretty well. Of course, Coal India, IOC and Britannia are the other stocks that are doing extremely well. 6 minutes to close, and very, very interesting counters are now coming up. Colgate Palmolive 2130, fresh record high here as well. IndusInd Bank, Reliance also sort of ticking in fresh gains. Let's look at the index heavyweights. I haven't spent much time here, but as I had pointed out, there is little or no action. And Sakshi, out of the 10 index heavyweights, there is only one in the green, and that is up 55 paisa. State Bank of India 581.90. All index heavyweights are ending lower. Infosys 1% lower, 1373. Reliance 0.5% lower, 2316. HDFC Bank 0.7% lower, 1488. ICICI Bank 1% lower, 933.90. And of course, Axis Bank down 0.5% at about 1025. So that's how prices have slipped lower and lower as far as the main index is concerned. Absolutely flat trade, down 82, 19,442, the Nifty for you, Sakshi.
I think people are just taking rest after Diwali and not really participating and right ahead of the truncated work. But definitely a few and far between stocks that you've talked about. Stunning move there despite the overall lackluster trade we are witnessing on BSE, CAMS, Hindustan Copper, Infibeam, Indian Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, like you pointed out. But I really wanted to see that, what's really gone wrong with Bajaj Finance today. It's the top laggard in trade today, like you were pointing out, large caps. When we were discussing all of this, Shail, yesterday also with the top market voices on the live show as well, everybody was hoping that it could be the turn of large caps that would make a comeback this year in this Samvat as well. But with the likes of Bajaj Finance not really participating, it's going to be a very tough ride for NBFCs, if they don't end up participating this Samvat as well. So again, a very, very, lackluster trade on Bajaj Finance. It's down 1.2%, 73.62 as well at this point in time, Shail.
Sakshi, that's more to do with the weekly expiry of the Fin Nifty. Remember, tomorrow's a holiday, so that Fin Nifty expiry is happening today. And Bajaj Finance has, of course, the highest weightage at 73.98. Bajaj Finance is now almost, let's look at, yes, it's now trading at its, September 12th lowest level. So October, November, exactly 2 months low here in front of you, and it's the 100 DMA which has been acting as a very valiant support from 26th of October. Remember, from 26th of October, the Nifty is appreciated from 18,850 to 19,500, right? And Bajaj Finance has actually gone nowhere. Now, if this 100-point resistance breaks, you will probably see 7,000 on this particular stock because 7,000 is where the 100-day, 200-day moving average is. So weak moves coming in on Bajaj Finance. People, like I said, Sakshi, are just selling the options on these stocks because one, that the index will not go anywhere till 2nd of December. Two, we are in the second half of November's F&O expiry, and it's the time value that will decay far sharper now than what it will than what it does in the initial 15 days of any month. So वीकनेस है, और जब 7,300 आ गया तो 7,000 में कोई ज़्यादा फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. You move from, say, strength of the 200 DMA on the way up. Sakshi.
Absolutely. So, okay, just 2 minutes to go before the market shut shop. It's been a kind of a dull day today, and not much of an action. But let's still tell you what's really happening as of now, just before the day's close. So on the Nifty, you have Coal India as the top gainer, 5.3% higher in trade. Eicher Motors follows, about 2% higher in trade. Hindalco, BPCL, M&M, Britannia, the top gainers on the Nifty index as well. Again, like I pointed out, on the downside as far as the Nifty losers are concerned, you do have Bajaj Finance, Infosys as the heavy weight counter, that's down by 1%, not really supporting the market move. And Apollo Hospitals, ICICI Bank, Tech Mahindra, Grasim, SBI Life Insurance, these TCS, these are the top laggards as we speak as well. On the BSE 500, NSE 500 space as well, you have Bombay Stock Exchange firing away, 8.6% higher. Very, very stunning move coming in. 300% kind of a rally in this entire year. And what a move on BSE. CAMS follows, about 8.5% higher in trade for this one. Hindustan Copper, the top gainer again here. Infibeam Avenues, Indian Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, BHEL, Central Bank of India, Coal India, Indian Overseas Bank, Power Industries, anywhere between 5 to 9% odd kind of a move coming in on this one. PSU banks among the sectoral index moves, that's up by 2.5% as the top sectoral mover. Apart from this, the only gains up that are being seen are in the metals pack, the small cap space. The mid caps are flat now with a negative bias. So this space has given up some of the gains too. The Nifty next 50 is just as flat and just about 0.04% higher in trade. It's among the sectoral indices, it's the consumer durables that's fallen a lot, about 0.8% or so. IT follows with 0.7% losses. Healthcare, financial services, these are the top losers in trade. Shail.
Right, and that's where the markets have called it a day, Sakshi. 85 points lower, 19,440 on the Nifty. 115 points lower on Bank Nifty, 43,880. But the hero of the day is, of course, the very sharp run-up that you've seen on the Nifty PSU Banking Index, up 2.6% at 5176. A stunning rally that's come into PSU banks of all hues, whether you are seeing lower tickets items like Punjab and Sindh Bank, Maharashtra Bank, J&K Bank, then of course Union Bank, Bank of India, all of them have gone up between 5 and 7% with a huge jump in volume. Apart from that, tomorrow is a holiday, take rest, and then Sakshi and I will join you back on Wednesday morning with a fresh edition of Market Today. Sakshi.
Well, many thanks then, Shail, for joining us, and to all the viewers, many thanks for joining us on this special edition. Do stay tuned on to Business Today TV as the action continues on the other side from the world of business as well. Many thanks for tuning in for now.
Well, British car manufacturer Lotus has officially announced its entry into the Indian market, and let me tell you, with the